I'm not sure of all of your roles. I mean, I know what you just said are your job descriptions, but perhaps we could just start with you. You could just tell me a little bit about what you do and how you were involved in either Friday night, October 2nd, or Saturday, October 3rd.
Roger, I'm with Blue Max out of Task Force Pale Horse, and I'm one of the pilots that operates A64 Delta. That's the longbow. And on the morning of October 3rd, just before dawn, we had gotten a call that we had a cop that was under heavy contact. So myself and Chad Bardwell, this gentleman right here, we were in the same crew, and we launched out of Jalalabad airfield, and we headed directly there.
And what you said just before dawn? Like this was around 3 a.m. or what time?
We got the initial call right as we briefed, so it was probably. It was about 06:10 when we got the first call, and we were on station at 07:10 in the morning.
You were at where? At 7:10?
Jalalabad Airfield.
Okay.
As I was. No, we were here at 6:10, and we left here. It took about, after our initial notification, it took about 10 minutes to get the aircraft off the ground, and then after that we arrived at Combat Keating at 07:10 in the morning.
Okay. Well, what did you do when you got to Keating?
We initially, as we approached from the south, we saw that Combat Keating was in flames, and a front seater, co-pilot gunner, as we approached the fob from the south, he was able to get our target acquisition designation system onto, which is basically our cameras, onto the battle area. And at that point in time, we saw 25 to 30 troops that were along the eastern side, working their way down the hill towards one of the primary gates to the facility.
U.S. troops or?
No, we had made contact with Dark Knight 70 to confirm that there were no friendly troops outside of the wire, which would be the perimeter. Mm-hmm. And then at that point in time, we started looking for what they were carrying. It seemed to be that all of them had weapons at this time. And so we made another call to Dark Knight to ensure that the force looked large enough that that's not normally how the insurgents would hit a compound. So we called to make sure that there was no coalition forces outside the wire. And at that point in time, we were given the green light to begin engagements.
Describe for me, Sergeant Suter, to start with, how the day unfolded on the second.
Well, the day unfolded, I was working my shift in the top, our operations center, and around 5:50,
Still dark?
It was getting light. It had just broken dawn. We get a notification at the door from one of our interpreters, who basically told us that the AMP commander had said there were enemy forces moving into the nearby village. About 5 to 10 minutes after that is when the initial attack occurred. We spun up and began defending ourselves.
What did you personally, how did you respond?
Personally, we had
Me? Yeah.
We had targets in the area. The initial contact sounded as if it could be a recoilless rifle, so immediately I began laying our mortar systems on the area in which was a known recoilless rifle site. Immediately we found out that our mortar systems were unable to fire at that time, so immediately I started working other fires assets with nearby OPs and cops to see exactly what fire support assets we can use.
Mm-hmm. So your mortars weren't working. You grabbed your weapon and you went to the perimeter. What did you do?
My job in the TOC is to coordinate other fire support assets, mortar systems, artillery, and aircraft when they come on station. What I did immediately was contact our outpost, which is located about 1.5 kilometers away from us, to start using their mortars to suppress fire, so we can try to get our mortar system that was located on our COP up and running, so we can engage the enemy.
And that's Fritchie?
Fritchie.
Yes. Why weren't your mortars working?
They were under heavy enemy contact. They called up the initial report saying they were receiving small arms and RPG fire, okay. So they were not able to get to their mortar systems.
Mm-hmm. How often do you come under attack?
At Combat Keating, it's usually about 3 to 4 times a week. We get usually small arms fire, nothing too major.
So how did this feel? Did it feel any different than the other days that you're being attacked?
Initially, I wasn't sure exactly what we were up to, but once we realized the situation, it wasn't so much of what we were feeling as resorting back to our training and doing what we were trying to do.
Sorry, I was told that there was some sort of contact on Friday night, but you only heard about everything beginning Saturday morning. Around what time?
Saturday morning about 5:45.
And there was nothing Friday night?
Friday night was nothing out of the usual, nothing that would forewarn us that something bigger was coming.
Okay.
Let's go to Jason. What happened initially? 5:45 rolls around, the enemy fire comes in. What did you do?
Initial round came in. Didn't seem like anything out of the ordinary. There was actually probably a 15 to 20 second lull in between the initial round and the rest of the attack. So we took the initial round. I made my way into the TOC. And then at that point, we started receiving a heavy volley of fire. Probably 90 seconds into the fight, they ended up hitting one of our generators, so we lost all power. At that point, I made a call up to Fob Bostic, and basically just said, you know, we're taking heavy contact. At that point, I knew that this was something bigger than normal. It's usually not to this volley. So I made a call and just said, we're taking heavy contact. We need assets. From that point, just tried to fight the fight, wait for air to check on station.